President Rodrigo Duterte to finalize decision on Luzon-wide ECQ this week. IATF on COVID-19 and experts to discuss recommendation on lifting Luzon ECQ, says Health Secretary Francisco Duque III. The Armed Forces of the Philippines admits it is gearing up for an extensive ECQ upon the President's order. Local governments in Metro Manila find solutions to reduce their backlog on testing COVID-19 suspect cases. Spain sees a sign of slowdown of COVID-19 transmission. Local police in Mexico flies drones to disperse gatherings in parks, while a startup uses delivery robots that pilot in Colombia.
President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to finalize his decision on the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine within the week, according to Malacanang. Rosalie Cos explains why.
There are no specific details yet on whether President Rodrigo Duterte would lift, extend, or modify the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine, which is due to end on April 30th. When asked on the possibilities of lifting the coronavirus restrictions, Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque answered there are 50-50% chances.
Kinakailangan magdesisyon ng Presidente ngayong linggong ito dahil anuman ang desisyon niya ay kinakailangan paghandaan ang implementasyon.
The Interagency Task Force Against Coronavirus Disease, together with experts, extensively discussed today their recommendations to the President. The IATF has earlier tagged reports the ECQ will be further extended until mid-May as false information. Malacanang also says the voice recording of a possible martial law or total lockdown declaration, which has been trending on various social media groups, is fake news. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is planning for a possible extensive ECQ once the President declares it. Leia Ilagan details why.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines admit they are preparing for the extensive implementation of ECQ, as what's written in the memo of the Philippine Air Force circulating on social media.
Yan naman po ay naturalesa ng Armed Forces bilang isang institusyon. Tayo po ay hindi na kailangang utusan ng diretsyo, no? Kung nagpaplano po tayo, kasama po yan yung foresight natin at saka preparedness ay isa po sa characteristics ng AFP.
AFP spokesperson Marine Brigadier General Edgar Arevalo said in the program Serbisyong Bayanihan, they await the President's orders to implement a stricter ECQ. Once a stricter enhanced community quarantine is imposed, military presence will be seen not only at checkpoints on major thoroughfares but also in inner roads and communities. Physical distancing protocols, mandatory wearing of face masks, and curfew will be more stringent. Military personnel already exist in Mandaluyong, Pasay, Parañaque, and Quezon cities, and in Pateros after their local chief executives sought help from the AFP. Brigadier General Arevalo adds that law-abiding citizens have nothing to worry about once the stricter ECQ is carried out.
Isinasaang-ayon natin sa batas kung tayo man ay madideploy. Kaya nga po ang tanong natin, what are the rules of engagement? Anong existing laws and regulations na nag-a-apply?
Arevalo adds that to discipline their constituents, local governments must implement uniform penalties on curfew violators.
Maramdaman ng ating mga kababayan na once sila ay nag-violate ng curfew, sila po ay madadala sa isang confinement area, bibigyan ng community service kung kinakailangan, pagmumulta, and at the same time, yung may mga kasalanang paglabag sa batas at mga umiiral na regulasyon, masampahan sila ng kaukulang kaso.
The AFP spokesperson also pointed out it would help a lot to the security sector if one in every household plays the role of a quarantine officer to monitor the compliance of the family with government protocols. Leia Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque calls on local government units to implement penalties on ECQ violators which do not violate human rights. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Curfew violators locked inside a dog cage, made to sit under the sun, forced to stay inside a coffin, and many others. These were some of the punishments by several local government units on enhanced community quarantine violators in various parts of Luzon. These are now criticized by some human rights groups. But presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque has this to say to ECQ violators.
Karapatang pantao din ang karapatang mabuhay. At habang linalabag po natin ang ECQ, nagiging banta rin po tayo sa karapatang mabuhay ng ating mga kababayan.
The palace official also urges the public to submit detailed information of alleged human rights violations for proper action by the appropriate agencies. Meanwhile, the government is also looking into the incident in which some policemen barged into a high-end residential condominium in Bonifacio Global City, Taguig, believed to have traumatized some residents.
Ang pulisiya po ng pulis naman ay hindi po pwedeng pumapasok po ang mga pulis sa mga private property kung, number one, wala silang nalalaman na krimen na nangyayari dun sa private property na yon, kung hindi sila inimbita o kung wala po silang search warrant.
On a social media post, the Taguig City government reminds all subdivisions and residential buildings in the city that ECQ rules and regulations apply equally to all communities. The city government seeks police assistance to ascertain these rules are strictly enforced. Reports also say that clubhouses, swimming pools, and common gardens in several subdivisions and residential condominiums remain open. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, anytime this week, the Manila city government will place Sampaloc district on total lockdown. Joanne Nano tells us why.
To prevent further transmission of the coronavirus disease, Sampaloc District, which has recorded the highest number of COVID-19 cases in the city of Manila, will be placed in total lockdown. In an interview in Get It Straight with Daniel Razon today, Manila City Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso, the local chief executive, explained they are preparing the guidelines for the implementation of the total lockdown.
I think the key is, with Daniel, some of our constituency are not taking this seriously. They have no idea of the gravity, yung bigat ng sitwasyon at epekto sa buhay pangkalusugan ng isang tao at ng isang pamilya. So we have to draw the line.
The mayor added they are finishing the distribution of relief items and cash assistance to Sampaloc residents before implementing the total lockdown. Violators of the new measure will be apprehended or penalized. Nobody will be allowed outdoors. Only healthcare workers, emergency responders, security personnel, pharmacists, workers in the funeral or crematory service industry are exempted.
Walang galawan to. Literal to, Kuya Daniel. When we do that, we will not tolerate anybody. As in, you will be accosted, you will be apprehended, a certain level of penalty will be given to those violators. So this is hard lockdown.
Soldiers and policemen will enforce the measures. Based on the latest count of the Manila City Health Department, there are 98 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Sampaloc District and 158 suspected cases as of today. Meanwhile, the operation of Hospital ng Sampaloc has resumed after intensive disinfection of the facility. Many COVID-19 patients were treated in the hospital in the previous weeks. Joanne Nano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Rodrigo Duterte received a call from United States President Donald Trump last night on the possible bilateral cooperation on containing the spread of coronavirus disease 2019. According to Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo, the two leaders' phone conversation lasted for about 18 minutes. Malacanang says the phone call was initiated by the White House.
It was cordial, and it was about collaboration nga, bilateral collaboration on COVID-19. But beyond that, I have no authority to divulge any further details.
The Philippines places sixth among 22 Western Pacific region countries worst hit by COVID-19, while the USA is now the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic. Health ministers of the Group 20 or G20 held a virtual meeting on Sunday to share experiences and preventative measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. 40 people, including other guest countries, World Health Organization key persons, and other international institutions, attended the meeting hosted by Saudi Arabia. The health ministers from Italy, Japan, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, and China discussed digital medical service, serious case treatment, vaccines research, development, and production, the impact of the pandemic on all fields of endeavor, and international cooperation in containing the spread of the pandemic. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who addressed the meeting, said that WHO has raised $150 million for use to prevent the control of the pandemic in different countries. And now here's the latest count of coronavirus cases around the world. As of today, the COVID-19 pandemic has reached a total of 2,415,370 confirmed cases in 185 countries. The fast-spreading disease has claimed 165,903 lives, while 632,048 patients across the globe have recovered from the disease. The United States of America has more than 700,000 positive cases as of today, with more than 70,000 recoveries. It's followed by Spain, Italy, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, and Turkey as the top 7 countries most hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the Philippines Department of Health reported today 200 new cases, bringing the total of confirmed cases to 6,459. 19 new deaths were also recorded today. The death toll is now at 428. 41 more patients have recovered, bringing the total recoveries in the Philippines to 613. Among the 22 countries in the Western Pacific region, the Philippines is the 6th most hit by the coronavirus pandemic based on data. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said that the interagency task force and experts will still have to discuss whether they will recommend to lift the enhanced community quarantine in Luzon this month. Aiko Miguel reports why.
The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has to consider a lot of things before finalizing any decision on the issue of lifting the ECQ in Luzon.
Pag-uusapan pa yan sa IATF. So, mahirap naman magsalita ng hindi tapos.
Such factors include the scope of the COVID-19 infection in various parts of the country. Their decision should be fit to the recommendation of experts. Health Secretary Duque said should the national government decide on whether to lift or extend the lockdown, there will still be guidelines the public should follow to prevent a second wave of COVID-19 in the country. DOH calls on the public to obey measures and laws while COVID-19 crisis exists in the country. The World Health Organization has earlier mentioned 6 criteria that will help countries chart the way forward as they consider lifting restrictions. Transmission is controlled. Health system capacities are in place to test, isolate, and treat every case and trace every contact. Outbreak risks are minimized. Preventive measures are in place in workplaces, schools, and other essential places. Importation risk can be managed. Communities are fully educated, engaged, and empowered to adjust to the new norm. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Some local government units in Metro Manila find solutions to reduce their backlogs of testing suspect cases for COVID-19. Let's find out the reasons why from Asher Kadapan Jr.
Since the start of massive testing for COVID-19 last April 14, local government units in Metro Manila have been taking action for their respective constituents. In Pasig City, 7 testing booths have been installed in different barangays. The city's testing booths use polymerase chain reaction or PCR testing procedure through the medical city, which yields at least 35 tests per day and provides results within just 2 or 3 days. The City Health Office of Pasig expects that they will be able to clear their backlog of COVID-19 cases strongly recommended for testing.
So every day po, bawat isang facility natin will be conducting at least 5 tests po. Okay? Base dun sa listahan na pino-forward ng mga kino-contact trace natin. Okay? So all in all, at least every day po, we will be providing at least 35 tests po every day. From Monday to Friday po.
About 60 PCR tests per week are also conducted in community testing through the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or RITM and Lung Center of the Philippines. Despite the demand, the Pasig City government assures it is equipped with enough test kits. Meanwhile, Parañaque City has also begun conducting the COVID-19 expanded testing today. It can run up to 200 tests per day using rapid testing kits approved by the country's Food and Drug Administration. 200 suspect cases in Parañaque may be tested within a day.
Libo po yung ating rapid test kit. Wala na po tayong problema. Pati sa swabbing po, okay na rin po tayo.
Meanwhile, Marikina City's COVID-19 testing center is all set to start the swabbing operation once accredited by the Department of Health, expect tomorrow morning. Frontliners, senior citizens, pregnant women, and individuals with comorbid condition are prioritized in the COVID-19 mass testing. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The University of the Philippines National Institute of Health sees a Filipino-made test kit to help lessen the load of testing in Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or RITM. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
After several trials and validation, the University of the Philippines Institute of Health or UPNIH is now using the Pinoy-made real-time reverse transcript polymerase chain reaction or the RRT-PCR designed and made here in the Philippines. It was on April 3 when the Food and Drug Administration approved the use of the Pinoy-made test kits for COVID-19 testing.
Kaya natagalan dahil ang dami po nating pinagdaanan na proseso para masiguro po ng UPNIH at saka ng pamunuan ni na Dr. Destura sa kanilang ginawa, yung maging ligtas ito, it's going to be safe, it's going to be of quality, and it's going to be effective para ma-detect po natin ang virus na ito.
According to Dr. Raul Destura, biotechnological researcher at UPNIH, other than the fact that it costs much lesser, the kit is also complete with all the needed reagents and medium. Included in the test kit are the COVID-19 RT-PCR, extraction kit, viral transport medium, and nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal swabs. Destura said this is to make sure there will be no delays that could be caused by a dwindling supply of reagents and other materials used for testing the samples. UPNIH targets to conduct around 500 tests per day using the Pinoy-made COVID-19 test kit.
Some of the samples are being sent here at the NIH to help out, make sure that the turnaround time of samples will be within the target. Hopefully, ma-reach nila yung target nila, 500 or more a day. But they're working into that. So they are beefing up their capacity in the next couple of days. Hopefully, they're all set.
Production of the test kits is currently at 6,000 to 8,000 a day, with costs of around 1,300 pesos each, an amount that is many times cheaper than other internationally developed or made COVID-19 testing kits. The local manufacturer aims to double the production to 16,000 kits per day by May 1 to supply the demand needed in the country. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Bureau of Correction refutes there are 19 persons deprived of liberty in the Correctional Institution for Women positive for coronavirus. MC Cordova will tell us why.
In Senator Richard Gordon's tweet yesterday, he said that 19 persons deprived of liberty in the Correctional Institution for Women in Mandaluyong City have tested positive for COVID-19. But this was refuted by the Bureau of Corrections spokesperson Gabriel Chaklag. The official said they are still not giving out official statements because they still have not received any results from the Department of Health regarding the 48 PDLs and staff previously tested for COVID-19. That's why Senator Gordon's post on his social media account is not official. Chaklag added that until now they are still waiting for the official result for them to publish. It was Friday last week when they confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in the correctional facility, a 72-year-old. She remains in Santa Ana Hospital for treatment. Mac Cordova, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The national government provides more than 6 billion pesos for COVID-19 response in provinces. Meanwhile, the DILG recommends local governments to create schedules for residents to access public markets and other essential places. Dante Amento tells us why.
The national government has released a total of 6.197 billion pesos assistance to provinces under the Bayanihan Grant to Provinces or BGP to boost the fight against COVID-19. IATF on COVID-19 spokesperson Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says that some guidelines should be followed for the disbursement of the fund. It should be used for COVID-19 response only, such as additional budget for government-run hospitals, procurement of PPEs, medicines, hospital equipment, and disinfectant, among others, purchase of relief goods for affected residents and the vulnerable sector, acquisition of space to accommodate COVID-19 patients.
Ang BGP ay gagamitin para lamang sa COVID-19 response. At ito ay subject pa rin po sa umiiral na patakaran sa procurement, budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations.
Secretary Nograles adds, the Interior Department reminds LGUs to discontinue implementing limited window period to access public markets, grocery stores, pharmacies, and other essential establishments. Instead, create a schedule or cluster for residents to go to markets and grocery stores. The aim is to prevent congestion in public markets due to lack of regulations or guidelines that people will follow.
Para hindi sabay-sabay lumabas ang ating mga kababayan. Mas mahabang oras ng bawat tao lumabas, rotational po ang areas na pwedeng lumabas para mas konti ang tao na nasa labas at a given time.
Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Fire victims evacuated in a covered court in Tondo, Manila will be transferred to a different facility. But physical distancing must be observed, says Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso. Arlene Delgado reports why.
Jessa, a mother of 3, could not hold back her tears as she describes how hard their current situation is. Her family is among the thousands of displaced residents of Happyland in Tondo, Manila after a fire broke out in the residential area last Saturday. 150 of them stayed at Barangay 105's covered court. According to Jessa, they were only able to save some clothes and this old nebulizer of her youngest son.
Kasi inisip ko mga anak ko po talaga, kasi lalo na ngayon yung virus po. Andun yung takot po talaga. Crisis na nga, nadagdag pa tong ganitong sitwasyon namin.
Her partner Ryan hopes the crisis will soon end for them to go back and rebuild their houses.
Hindi kami pwede magtagal dito dahil sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, yung may COVID. Ang kailangan po namin talaga yung mga gamit tulad ng yero, yung plywood para makapagtayo sa mga bahay-bahay namin.
According to some barangay officials, the food and water supply are still enough, but the families are in need of hygiene kits. Physical distancing is also a challenge with the number of families inside the covered court.
Yan talagang umaayaw na lumipat sila kasi nga sa sitwasyon ng hanap buhay. Kaya nagtsatsaga sila kahit ganun ang sitwasyon ng kalagayan nila, diyan lang sila. Kailangan talaga ng tulong pa ng mga tao rito, lalo na may mga nagkakasakit din sa dito dahil maliit pa rin ang area namin dito.
May mga families din po na nagpasya na sabi nila, babalik na lang kami sa bahay namin. Which is yun nga po, nag-aayos na sila ng bahay nila.
According to Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso, they will transfer the families in another school facility to observe the physical distancing protocol. 104 families are staying at the General Vicente Lim Elementary School, while 50 families are at the Amado V. Hernandez Elementary School. The barangay hall also houses 50 families, while over 700 families have found shelters outside the evacuation centers.
Mas mahirap yung congestion or yung assembly ng tao sa isang basketball court with our existing situation. Hindi talaga sila pwede maghalo-bilo.
Mayor Domagoso adds, a financial assistance will also be given to the families to help them start rebuilding their burned houses. Horlin Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Energy will look into a report of power rate hike in a town in Occidental Mindoro Province. Based on the report, the power rate hike is almost double.
Wow.
Ray Pelayo explains why.
JC, a Filipino worker based in Saudi Arabia, sought the help of Serbisyong Bayanihan for his problem. He said there has been a sudden power rate increase in his hometown Paluan, Occidental Mindoro. From 10 pesos and 50 centavos per kilowatt hour of consumption in March, their April billing jumped to 18 pesos per kilowatt hour. This means from 1,400 pesos, their electric bill almost doubled at 2,500 pesos, but at the same rate of consumption. Their local power provider is Solar Para sa Bayan, an independent electric company that supplies to the remotest area in Paluan through solar power.
May abiso ho ba na talagang magtataas po sila?
Meron po silang nilabas na liham, itong kumpanya na tinatawag naming Solar Para sa Bayan, na magtataas sila noong February 13 pero hindi po malinaw sa aming mga taga-Paluan kung paano napunta sa 18 pesos na taas at bakit sa panahon pa ng krisis ay nagkaroon pa ng ganito.
Kuya Daniel Razon was able to discuss the matter with Department of Energy Director Mario Marasigan. The energy official explained that because of problems with the services of Occidental Mindoro Electric Cooperative, the local government of Paluan was forced to enter into an agreement with Solar Para sa Bayan.
Yung unang salbo po nila ng pagbibigay ng serbisyo, hinayaan po nila na mababa muna ang presyo ng kuryente. Pero sila po ay nag-anunsyo noong Pebrero, sa pagkakaalam namin, na simula ng Pebrero o yung susunod na mga billing cycle, pagkatapos ng Pebrero, kung hindi po ako nagkakamali at tama pa po yung aking nabasa, ay ang pagbibil po ng mas mahal na kuryente ay mag-uumpisa po ng February 20.
But the question is, was such power rate increase authorized?
Tinatanong ko lang po kung sila ho ba'y deregulated at ito ho ba'y dumaan doon sa batas na dapat nilang daanan na kontrolado din po ng Department of Energy, because if this is going to happen po na pwede naman pala yun sasabihin ko, halimbawa, totoo naman, reality, di ko naman talaga kaya o ipapasa ko sa isang may kayang gumawa. Pagka kaya na nitong isang gumawa, sige, ikaw ang gumawa at maningil ka kung ano ang gusto mo. Magtataas ka kung kailan mo gusto at kung magkano itataas mo, bahala ka. Yun ho ba ganun ho ba ang sistema, Director?
Tama po kayo. Sa katunayan po, binago po ng palisiyan ng Department of Energy ang mga kasunduan na nangyayari, na kagaya nga po na nangyayari sa Paluan. So nasa proseso po tayo ngayon ng tamang pagre-rehistro ng operation ng Solar Para sa Bayan niyan sa Paluan. Yun po yung tinatawag nating Qualified Third Party Program.
The DOE promised to look into JC's report. Marasigan said he will raise the matter to the Energy Regulatory Commission to determine any possible violation of the energy law on the part of the local electricity provider. UNTV has reached out to the ERC, Solar Para sa Bayan, and the local government of Paluan for any comments to shed light on the matter. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Are you the household member who is assigned to go shopping for food and other essentials? Do you often touch coins and banknotes? Perhaps you must be reminded about these simple yet important things to do. Mac Cordova reports.
The World Health Organization advises that when anybody in the household goes grocery shopping, better sanitize the handles of trolleys or baskets before shopping. And once home, wash your hands thoroughly and also after handling and storing your purchased products. Although there's no evidence to confirm or to disprove that COVID-19 virus can be transmitted through coins and banknotes, respiratory droplets expelled from an infected person can contaminate and persist on surfaces. Remember to wash your hands regularly and thoroughly after touching objects you frequently handle or place in your hands, including coins and banknotes. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose if your hands are not clean. Remember that the COVID-19 virus may persist on surfaces for a few hours or up to several days. This may vary under different conditions like the type of surface, temperature, or humidity of the environment. Wear a face mask when going outdoors and follow the physical distancing protocols. Remember, better safe than sorry. Mac Cordova, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
427 Filipino seafarers from Norwegian Pearl, Sky, Star, and Sun safely landed this morning from Florida, USA. No, 440 more seafarers were welcomed home from Norwegian Escape in a back-to-back repatriation. More arrivals are expected, says the Department of Foreign Affairs. Last night, of 233 land-based Filipino workers from Indonesia, Singapore, and Kenya also arrived in the Philippines. The respective employers shouldered their plane fares to Manila in full coordination with the Philippine embassies in Jakarta, Singapore, and Nairobi, and the Philippine Consulate General in Manado. Repatriated Filipinos number to about 17,000 since the flight from Wuhan in February. And for the news abroad, here's RL Kamiya live from Japan. RL, good evening.
Good evening, Diego. Spain, as of today, has 200,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases, but its health officials report a significant decrease in death cases. Chris Perez will report why.
Spain's head of health emergencies, Fernando Simon, reported Sunday that 2,695 have been cured since Saturday in the country, which is second to the USA as a country worst hit by the coronavirus pandemic. That is an increase of 3.7% since the previous day. He added, there has also been an important decrease in the death toll.
Between yesterday and today, the number of people who died are 410. It is the first time that it has dropped below 500 since the beginning of the increase of deaths.
Simon added, it is the lowest daily increase since March 22nd. This, for health authorities in Spain, is a sign of a slowdown of the spread of the virus after Spain imposed a strict lockdown in mid-March. On Saturday, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said he would ask Parliament for a 15-day extension of the lockdown until May 9, with more flexible restrictions. Those would include allowing children to leave their homes for short periods of time, but with conditions. Chris Perez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A hospital for coronavirus victims is being built on the runways of one of Turkey's airports, but this has raised the mayor's eyebrows. Miguel Rey de Leon will tell us why.
Istanbul's Ataturk Airport will be a site for COVID-19 patients in the transcontinental country Turkey. Ataturk used to be the main airport for the city of 16 million people, but was closed to scheduled flights after the completion of the new facility a year ago. Now it accommodates cargo and official government flights only. The construction of the new hospital on 2 of its 3 runways is underway, but this has been attracting criticisms from the city's mayor, who said it might still be needed in emergencies like earthquakes such as that in 1999.
Gerçekten İstanbul'un farklı riskleri var.
Really, Istanbul has different risks such as an earthquake, when there's a Congress Center right next to the airport, as well as empty fields that could be used for various purposes. Specifically, destroying 2 runways is absolutely intentional, and it is a crime.
İki pisti tahrip etmek.
But Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan announced the construction of the 2 pandemic field hospitals earlier this month.
A planning and project work is under progress for 1,000-room hospital at the area of Yelsikoy Ataturk Airport. Also, we are building another 1,000-room hospital in Sancaktepe Airport, and we are planning to finish them rapidly in 45 days' time.
Turkish government officials did not immediately respond to requests or comment about the decision on the location of the hospital. Turkey is just 1 notch below China on the global tally of cases, with more than 82,000 confirmed cases, overtaking neighboring Iran. Miguel Rey de Leon, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other news, a gunman in the province of Nova Scotia in Canada killed more than 13 people, including a police woman, during a 12-hour rampage, authorities said on Sunday. This incident is considered the worst act of mass murder the country has seen in 30 years. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said 51-year-old Gabriel Wertman, who had disguised his car to look like a police cruiser, shot people in several locations across the Atlantic province. Authorities said they were still trying to establish a final death toll. Police added that Wertman was dead, but would not confirm a CTV report that he had been shot and killed by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And those are the reasons behind the news abroad. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, R.L. Camilla, reporting live from Japan.
Good to go even without 4 months' salary. That's the way to do it for the players and coaching staff of AS Roma to help the club through the crisis caused by the COVID-19 outbreak. Aaron Romero tells the reason why.
AS Roma Chief Executive Guido Fiengas said a statement club captain Edin Dzeko and all the players have demonstrated they understand what the club stands for. Serie A has been suspended since March 9. It is not known, however, if or when the season will be able to restart. Roma explained the players would forego the wages they were due to receive between March and the scheduled end of the season in June. The club management will also give up a percentage of their earnings in this period to assist the club. The club said the players would also top up the wages of other club employees who were placed on the Italian government's social safety net scheme to ensure they received their regular monthly income. Fienga praised everyone on the club, saying they are all in this effort together. According to Roma, the players told the club CEO in a letter they are ready to start playing as soon as possible, but also realize that all this will not be enough to face the economic consequences of the current emergency. Players at Juventus, Parma and Cagliari have also agreed to wage reductions. However, a Serie A recommendation that similar cuts be made at all top flight clubs has been rejected by the Players' Union, which argues that those at smaller clubs are less able to afford reductions. Aaron Romero, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Implementing social distancing protocols has proved to be a huge challenge for authorities in many different countries battling the COVID-19 pandemic. In Mexico, a mayor has found drones to be useful in their bid to make citizens stay at home. In Colombia, delivery robots proved to be very helpful as well. Nina Armilio tells us why.
Local authorities in Mexico have found a solution to highlight the importance of following preventive measures to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus, like physical distancing. The state of Morelos has seen a spike in the number of confirmed coronavirus cases, but the Jujutla Municipality Police Department is taking a proactive approach in using drones to disperse large gatherings in parks. The police department has customized 16 drones with police lights and loudspeakers that announce "Please stay at home unless absolutely necessary." Filimon Jimenez, a resident, said it's a very modern and excellent way to communicate. While for Jujutla's mayor, Juan Angel Flores, drone technology has been very helpful.
Sí, ha sido muy eficaz. O sea, la verdad. The vast majority of people have followed with the instruction given. We have drones flying over a group of people for as much as 20 minutes, telling them to disperse until they finally get sick of it and leave. It's also a good way to protect our own officers by not having them close to the public, because protecting them is fundamental.
Most of the markets in the city are allowed to keep operating, though the city center has been shut down. In Colombia, these robots have been traveling on this street in the city of Medellin as a safe way of getting food to people ordered to stay at home. Rappi started the pilot this week. The boxy robots travel on 4 wheels, carry deliveries of up to 35 square centimeters. Restaurant orders are paid for digitally. The robots, jointly operated by Rappi and US-based KiwiBot, are disinfected before and after each use, the startup says in a statement. Rappi has completed close to 120 deliveries each day, with 15 robots in the pilot area. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the deadly virus. We are calling on everyone to be calm.
And most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis. You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer at these hours as flashed on your screens. And those are the reasons behind the news. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And I am Angelo Castro III, because we need to know. We will always ask why. Good evening.